Hello everyone, welcome to today's news starter. Let's begin with the most important topics which were in the news for today. Before getting into the topics themselves, let's start with a prelims practice question. Look at this question. It's a question from a previous year paper, science and tech based questions. Which one of the following is a reason why astronomical distances are measured in light years? So it is directly taken from NCRT books. If you have read the NCRTs properly, it is very easy to answer this question. Even if you do not know the answer for this question, it is very easy to come up with a answer through your reasoning capacity. Let's discuss about the answer in the end of the session. Let's start with the topics. MP's suspension. As you might be already aware, recently the session is going on in the parliament and a lot of MPs, around 141 opposition MPs have been suspended in the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha together. So what are all the provisions that give the power to the speaker or the chairman to suspend the MPs? Two important rules you have to remember. One is rule number 373. According to rule number 373, the speaker of the Lok Sabha can suspend any MP based on disorderly conduct. The period for which the MP can be suspended should not exceed the remainder of the session. This is rule number 373. The second one is rule number 374A, in which it is told that the member will be automatically suspended from the service of the House for 5 consecutive sittings or for the remainder of the session. So these two rules you need to remember in case you get a question on prelims. From mains perspective, what you should know is how to improve constructive opposition in the parliament, how to improve debates in the parliament. This is how the question will be asked in mains. Rule number 255 and 256 of Rajya Sabha also you can remember. So one of the major problem which the Indian Parliament is facing is there is no proper constructive debate between the opposition and the ruling party. It will either be it is always the extreme. So in Parliament, when the session is going on, either the ruling party will be dominating or the opposition parties will try to disrupt the session. So there has never been a session with proper constructive debate or criticisms, proper development in the recent times. So how we should promote this culture? One, private members at present get 2.5 hours every Friday to discuss important legislatures and policies. Instead of doing this, I'm sorry, apart from doing this, what we should do is we should also give this opportunity to a group of MPs. If we a give this opportunity to a group of MP, the opposition group will come together and they will come up with some ideas. They will provide their perspective on issues. Or what we can do is specific days should be fixed for the opposition only. So on a particular day, it can be told that the opposition will come up with their agenda and they will present it in front of the parliament. So it is by these kind of innovative measures we can promote constructive development in the parliament. What are alternate investment fund? Recently, the RBI told that we need to strengthen our hold over the alternate investment fund. Else, what people will do is people will start evergreening of loans. So, what is evergreening of loans? When someone is not able to repay their loan, somehow trying to hold the loan for more time. That is evergreening of loan. Or if, for example, I'm getting a loan and loan of 100 crores, let's say, and I'm not able to repay it. So what I will do is I'll get 100 crore loan from some other place and I'll repay it here. So this kind of culture is called evergreening of loan. So we need to know what is alternate investment fund, because from prelims point of view, this topic is very, very important. If you notice economy based questions, usually we are getting questions from this perspective. They will give a definition or they will give a term related to economy and they will ask questions from it. So alternate investment fund is a privately pooled investment vehicle. So you might be aware of the stock market, you must be aware of the capital market, you must be aware of the mutual funds. The alternate investment fund is one similar kind of fund, but with a small difference. The difference is that it can be formed as a company, limited liability partnership trust, etc. But it is focused on high net worth individuals. The alternate investment fund is focused on high net worth individuals. So, for example, some millionaires or billionaires will come together and then they will form a fund called as alternate investment fund, and they will use this to invest in certain companies or certain debt instrument or equity funds or anything. So based on the method in which the investment happens, we divide the alternate investment fund into three: category 1, category 2, and category 3. What exactly is this? You need to know, because from prelims perspective, it is important. In category 1, they collect the fund, they will invest in startups, early stage ventures, social ventures, small and micro enterprises. So it is very helpful for the startup ecosystem. In category 2, they invest in real estate fund, debt fund, private equity fund, distressed assets, etc. In category 3, they invest in listed or unlisted derivatives. That is the capital market, hedge fund, pipe funds, etc. You just need to know the difference between all the three, and then the basics about alternate investment fund. That's all. For prelims, you'll be ready. Operation Prosperity Guardian has been in news in the recent times. So, from prelims perspective, from mains perspective, both this topic is very important. Anything related to international affairs is very, very important. You need to know about it. Even though Operation Prosperity Guardian is not directly linking with India, it is related to the Arabian Sea. So it becomes very important. So what exactly it is? Before getting into the topic, we need to know a little bit about Israel and the present war. So at present, Israel-Palestine war is going on. Israel has invaded the Gaza Strip, and due to this, all the Arabian countries have been opposing Israel. This is one context. The second context is the problem that is going on in Yemen. If you see, Yemen is very closely located to the Saudi Arabia. In 2014, a group of extremists called as Houthis started a war against the Yemen government, and they were able to oust the Yemen government. Because of this, Saudi Arabia launched a airstrike and successively a war also against the Houthis of Yemen. So for the last 8 to 9 years, Saudi Arabia Yemen war has been going on, and Houthis has been in control of Yemen. At present, because Israel has invaded Gaza, Israeli trade ships which crosses through the Red Sea has been coming under threat from the Houthis. If you have been following the news, you know that recently a trade ship, has been captured by the Houthi rebellions. So this is the major problem at present. So the Operation Prosperity Guardian has been started by these countries: the United Kingdom, Bahrain, Canada, France, Italy, Netherlands, Norway, Seychelles, and Spain. The major reason for this Operation Prosperity Guardian is to safeguard the Red Sea from the Houthi militias or any other extremist elements, because most of the goods, the trade related goods from from the Mediterranean countries travel through the Red Sea only. If you see, the Red Sea's geography is located like this. It is very close to Yemen, and it is a very narrow strip. So whichever power is in control in Ethiopia, Eritrea, Yemen can have a hold on the trade. So from examination point of view, what you should know is, what are all the countries that are surrounding Red Sea? Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Egypt, Sudan, Eritrea, Djibouti, Somalia. All these countries and their borders you should study. The borders of Israel is very important. You need to know it. Gulf of Aqaba you should know, because whatever trade Israel has to do with the other countries in Asia, all those ships has to cross through Gulf of Aqaba and then move through the Red Sea and then go to the Arabian Sea. The problem here is the Houthis have considered Israel as their sole enemies, and due to which they are trying to stop the Israeli ships in Red Sea. So this is a major problem. Gulf of Aqaba should be studied. Gulf of Aden should be studied. You should know the borders of all these countries. If they ask a question, where exactly is Gulf of Aqaba located, or which countries share the boundary with Gulf of Aqaba, you should be in a position to answer it. Criminal Laws Amendment. So recently, the government has introduced the amendment acts. Three important amendment acts have been introduced. One is Bharatiya Nyay Sanhita, Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita, and then Bharatiya Sakshya Bill. Earlier, the Indian Penal Code was there, Criminal Procedure Code was there, Indian Evidence Act was there. All these three acts were repealed and then the new bills were introduced. So, according to the new criminal law amendments, earlier the provision of sedition which was there was removed. So, at present, sedition law has been removed and they have introduced a section called as Section 152. According to Section 152, the punishment can be given to any act that endangers the sovereignty, unity, and integrity of India. Earlier, the Sedition Act was there, due to which, even if anyone opposes the government, the sedition provisions were applied. At present, it won't be applied if anyone raises their voice against the government, but if anyone raises voice against the unity and integrity of the country, then they will be punished. Timelines, very strict timelines have been given to mercy petitions, because earlier this was a great problem. When someone submits mercy petition, a lot of time they used to take. There they have introduced a scheme for witness protection. This was very important, permitting electronic modes for recording statements and collecting evidence. So the earlier law which was there, the IPC, CRPC, were colonial in nature. They were very old. They did not allow electronic modes as proper evidence. But due to the recent changes, even electronic modes will be allowed. For offences punishable with imprisonment of 7 years or more, forensic investigation has been made mandatory. This is also a great measure. They have introduced very stringent timelines for various procedural aspects, because one of the major problem with Indian police system was that they were not sticking to the timeline. Everything used to take a lot of time, due to which a lot of innocent people had to be in jail for a longer time for crimes they have not committed. From now on, hopefully, these problems will be done away with. One important point for mains examination: a recent report told that the urban world today consumes nearly 75% of primary energy, and the urban spaces are responsible for 70% of carbon dioxide. So, in order to reduce the carbon dioxide emission in the global level, we need to concentrate more on cities. This can be used in your mains answer. Mains question of the day: parliamentary debates has been declining in the recent times. The present context, you can write around 141 MPs were suspended and then laws were passed in the parliament without the presence of the MPs. So that can be a introduction. In this context, suggest measures to increase constructive participation and debates. Whatever we have discussed in the answer, you can mention it here. You can come up with your own ideas also. One important point from prelims examination perspective: there has been a borrowing leeway at present. States can borrow about 2 lakh crore above their net borrowing limit for the present year, because the demand has been very low in the economy. So it is very important for the states to borrow money from the center and then give loans, so that the demand can be increased in the economy. So the government has allowed 22 states to borrow almost 61,000 crore. on top of their net borrowing ceilings. That is 3% of gross state domestic product. All these points becomes very important for your prelims. 15th Finance Commission mooted additional borrowing space of 0.5% of state's GSDP. Anything related to Finance Commission becomes very important for your prelims examination. So we were discussing about the prelims question of the day. Which one of the following is a reason why astronomical distances are measured in light year? Everyone knows that astronomical distances are measured in light year. But what is the reason behind it? Let's look at the options. The first option is distances among stellar bodies do not change, which is actually wrong because we all know that the universe is still expanding. When the universe is still expanding, we cannot tell that the distance is always fixed. So this option can be easily eliminated. The second option, gravity of stellar bodies does not change. Gravity also can change. When the body becomes smaller in size, the gravity will reduce. If the body becomes increased in size with higher mass, then the gravity will increase. So this option cannot be true. Third one, light always travel in a straight line. Even if you have studied the basic NCRT books, you will know that light has wave nature also. So we cannot tell that light travels always in a straight line. The only option that is left is speed of light is always the same, which is actually true. So this becomes the answer. So that will be all for today. Let's meet tomorrow. All the best. Study well.